There was not a lot of positivity around nursing. I just felt really discouraged, like it wasn't an enjoyable career. I can make more money being home with my kids. It blew up and I was so overwhelmed, but also excited. I talk about very taboo topics on my podcast that people probably talk about with their girlfriends in private. My favorite line to remind myself is I would rather be loved for who I am than hated for who I'm not. If you don't like what I'm posting, that's totally fine.
The moral of your story is what?
Hey Yetta, you know how much love and respect I have for you? Girl,
You know.
Why do I feel like I'm your best friend? I just met you.
You're a merging of Oprah and Barbara Walters. There you go.
Joining us at the desk today is Emmy Award-winning journalist and anchor. It's Yetta Gibson, everybody.
I wanted to start a podcast for about 2 years, and then my best friend was a videographer, and I hired him as a producer. We're completely self-taught.
How Avery Woods became a viral sensation and podcasting star with close to 2 million followers on TikTok started with her obsession with the medical field and love for children. Her podcast, Cheers with Avery Woods, is unfiltered, it's raw, sometimes controversial. Just a couple of weeks after our interview, Avery came under fire for some comments that she made. But as you'll see, regardless of any hate or pushback she gets online, her day-to-day job she once did from her home in Arizona doesn't feel like work.
Hey, guess what time it is? I am so excited because the weather is finally...
Just gonna do my super quick and easy 5-minute makeup routine.
Come into our casa.
What do you think about it when you think of how far you've come and where you were just a few years ago?
I mean, if you would have asked me even 2 years ago if I would be here, I would laugh because I would say there's no way. I mean, I told my dad at 2 years old I wanted to be a nurse. I was obsessed with watching medical shows. I remember my mom being all freaked out about blood and guts, but I loved it. I loved that. And I also loved babies.
As a kid, you loved that?
Yes.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, what a weirdo, right?
I didn't want to say weird.
I'm like, not to say I'm a freak, but no. And then I also loved babies. And so what are those two combined? Pediatric nursing.
Yeah.
And I went to community college on a full ride scholarship, and then I went to a private nursing school, became a pediatric ICU nurse at a level 1 trauma hospital.
Right.
I loved it more than anything.
Can we talk about when you first started to document your journey on social media? What were you talking about?
Nursing. So I remember being in nursing school and there was not a lot of positivity around nursing. And I just felt really discouraged, like it wasn't an enjoyable career, and kind of questioned if I was doing the right thing for me. And then medical influencing wasn't huge then, and so I was like, what if I shared my journey on nursing school? Good morning, welcome to my life as an aesthetic nurse instructor.
Let's have some fun and style them together.
And I started sharing study tips. I started sharing how I styled my scrubs, little things here and there. And I had 500 Instagram followers in a private account.
So who were you doing it for?
Just
getting it off your
yeah,
chest, or just helping?
Whoever followed me, my friends, my nursing school friends. I was studying in like groups. Cherokee Uniforms, which at the time was the biggest scrub brand in the world, had sent me a DM and said, hey, if we send you scrubs for free, would you post for us? And I was like, are you kidding me? Free scrubs? Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, you have to make your Instagram profile public. That was kind of the push that made me make my profile public.
Right.
And I think what kind of shifted for me years down the road was I thought people followed me because of my nursing school journey or being a PICU nurse. I didn't realize they were following me for me, which was so flattering. And so I would start to film videos outside of nursing, more in my house and my personal life.
You were doing the content based on the questions you were getting.
And so that started taking off more, and then
Happy Saturday.
slowly started weaning out nursing, and then October of 2023 was my last shift as a nurse.
What made you make the decision?
It was really hard, and I also felt like nursing was my identity, and I loved that I felt like I was making a difference. You know, I worked with the sickest upon sickest kids. I saw things that you wouldn't ever even see on the news. I was cross-trained to the NICU. I was a SWAT nurse for a while for the whole pediatric tower. and I loved it. It gave me a purpose, but I loved more the connection of how I was helping other people online. And so I was like, let me just try to be consistent and see what happens. Wow. It blew up and I was so overwhelmed, but also excited. So I was negotiating all my own brand deals. I had no idea.
Avery's career trajectory completely changed. She now had thousands of people and companies online extremely interested in her as a person because of the work she was doing. Unwell, the company behind the very popular Call Her Daddy podcast, took notice, and Cheers with Avery took off.
So Unwell was approaching people saying, hey, you have a great audience, a great story, great personality. That there was other production companies that gave us offers, and honestly,
But they were going to take over your life.
yeah, they were going to take it all. And would it make our life easier? I'm sure. But if there ever came a time where it wasn't a good match, they would replace Cheers with a new host.
Right. Some people are so desperate to get something like that they would just sign it away.
Yeah, I knew the success that it was reaching just on my own. When I thought in my head, so I can make more money being home with my kids and working from home than what I'm doing as a nurse.
Not having any time.
No time, so burnt out. Nurses are not taken care of as they should, you know? And I remember what really did it for me was when I got my raise after the pandemic and it was 67 cents.
You're like, yep,
I said,
this is it.
yeah.
And it wasn't scary at all. It was just kind of, it was the right time.
It felt right.
You talk about how you thought nursing was your identity because you were helping people. How is this new world helping you with what you feel like you should be doing?
I would say I try to use my platform to bring light on things that people don't necessarily like to talk about or too embarrassed to. Body positivity, life after motherhood, how, you know, my body has changed and adjusted. I talk about very taboo topics on my podcast that people probably talk about with their girlfriends in private, but they don't necessarily talk about it online. So I get hundreds of messages daily. Thank you so much for talking about this. This helped me so much. This helped me with my marriage. You made me feel confident to wear a bikini on the beach. I love that.
So in a lot of ways, you're helping more people.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so, yeah.
In different ways. So that's the pro part. What's the cons part?
People compromising your safety, you know, talking about your address.
Weird.
Yeah, outside opinions from people that don't know you as a person. They just judge you from what you're posting.
Well, I mean, and it comes with it. It comes
Totally.
from being on social media,
Yep.
being a personality, having a podcast.
Yes.
It's part of the whole thing.
Yes.
Because have you ever been embarrassed about some of the things that you're talking about on your podcast?
No.
No?
I've really always been an open book, but my favorite line to remind myself is I would rather be loved for who I am than hated for who I'm not, right? Because if you don't like what I'm posting, that's totally fine, and you have the option to not follow me or block me. But the people that love and support me, they're getting the full version of me. Anytime someone stops me, they're like, I'm so sorry to bug you. I'm like, never say sorry, you are the reason I have a job. But that relationship is so important because I want to know what they want to see.
What do you think people don't realize about having a podcasting career?
I would say the work that goes into it behind the scenes, the prep it takes, the travel, the dedication, the consistency, that it's a full-time business. You know, I will be totally honest that I work more hours now than I did as a full-time registered nurse.
It's in a different way.
But it's in a different way, and I'm so lucky that I can schedule whenever I mean, I put my kids to bed and then that's when I'm editing, you know?
And how would you describe your brand?
I would say realistic lifestyle, because I can go from morning vlogs with my kids where I'm running around and running amok or dropping them off at school in a robe and curlers in my hair because I don't care, to beauty. You know, I share a lot of makeup, hair, fashion. So I like to share things that I wish I had grown up seeing online.
The moral of your story is what?
I'm just happy to be here.
That's a good answer.
That was in the bio of my Instagram and TikTok for so long because I really am. I feel so grateful every day that this is my job. It's hard to even call it a job. And even though it is a business, I know what my life was just a couple years ago. And I think it should be a testament to people that if you're unhappy in what you do, if you want to follow your dreams and do something, you can do it, you know? And it's really never too late.
And that's your advice to people?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're living your dream right now?
I really am. Yeah, I feel so lucky. I shot a billboard for Kosas that was in Times Square and on Sunset, and my kids were at my legs. And you can't see it in the photo, but the fact that my kids get to come with me and go see that mom's doing that is so special to me. Right. So I feel very lucky.
Good job, Avery. Most recently, she moved her family and her podcast from Arizona to California. New episodes drop every single Monday. And about those controversial comments that she made weeks ago, we're going to dive into those in just a bit. In the chat this week. So today we're talking about cancel culture. Is that still a thing, or do we just say it? Will Smith, he dropped some music. Remember the big slap? Ellen, Chris Brown. And in tonight's Not Done Yetta, double texting or just putting a little too much effort into something that wasn't going anywhere. The host of the Confidence Podcast joins us to dish on love and dating in Arizona. All that plus so much more when we return on this episode of Arizona's Family Original with me, Yetta Gibson.
I don't usually do videos like this or address whatever hate is going on in my direction, but this is one of those things where I never ever want to offend people and their beliefs. I speak on subjects that are very taboo. The comments after were completely unnecessary, and I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said anything like that. I need to remember that my sarcasm and my comedy is not going to be the same as other people's, and there's certain lines that I shouldn't cross, and I cross those lines, and I apologize.
All right, so that is the apology video from our guest earlier in the show, Avery Woods. That video made for her followers following some controversial comments that we cannot repeat on air. But let's just say they were unflavorable and they were regarding religion. And for a minute, she was getting a lot of hate online for those comments that she made on her episode of this podcast. But overall, her podcast is still getting a whole lot of views. So this got me thinking about cancel culture. You know, I had to bring this one to you online. Watch. So today we're talking about cancel culture. Is that still a thing, or do we just say it? Will Smith, he dropped some music. Remember the big slap? Ellen, Chris Brown, still doing concerts. He's actually at the height of his career right now. Lizzo and her comments. Leah Michelle for the Glee fans. She's still on TV, she's still doing stuff. Comment below on some people who have really been canceled. It is my thought that it's not even a thing anymore. Are people still getting canceled or no? So we got a lot of responses on this one. Some of you saying canceling had a run, but it died, realizing it not a priority to the American people. Another one of you said the end of cancel culture shows a lack of follow through by Americans. We have to learn a better way, inspire change rather than yelling at the wind. Meanwhile, others of you showing some grace. One of you said people make mistakes. It's called being human. Who hasn't said or done something they shouldn't have? And move on, people. Get over it. Joining us for this week's panel is our correspondent and pop culture enthusiast, Simone. Hello, Simone.
Hello.
And podcast coach, dating coach, podcast host, Chris Nappy. Chris, you have more than 1 million followers on TikTok, so people like what you have to say, apparently.
Some people.
But let's get into cancel culture. What do you think about, first, the apology from Avery? I mean, that's all you can really do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just got to be honest if you feel like you made a mistake. I feel like it's hard. Sometimes you want to stand by your words, depending on what it is. She said that she was being sarcastic, so I guess that's the hard part, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what was she trying to really say? And I guess the apology is her just being like, I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah.
Or whatever way they took it.
Or whoever was offended.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, sorry for you guys.
What about cancel culture? Simone, what say you on, is it a thing? I don't know if anybody really named anyone who has been canceled. That was one of the requests I had on the video. Name someone who's been canceled.
I think canceling is for actions that you do, not words that you say. I think sometimes as humans, we say things in the moment maybe that aren't well thought out, clearly, as Avery mentioned. But it's not like she did something terrible to someone.
True.
She, you know, it's not like she hurt somebody physically. She said something that was hurtful to people. She owned up to it. I give her a lot of respect for that. But I think there's a fine line between saying and doing. I think they're different.
Yeah, Chris, is cancel culture still a thing?
I feel like it's not. We talked a little bit about before the show, right? It's like sometimes you say something and it's here for a day, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people can talk all they want, but there's no really action behind that either.
And you've got 1 million followers. I'm sure people have had stuff to say about some of the things you put out.
Yes.
I mean, did you ever feel like you were going to be canceled ever for some things you said?
Not like officially canceled, because I have that mentality where it's like, okay, I had a bad day. You know, it's like someone has a bad day at work. You're like,
right.
It's tough, but come back the next day and you're good.
Well, it's got to be a delicate dance, right? Because on the one hand, you're on social and you're getting all of the love and the following because you're being yourself, you're being real. So is there a line that you have to like not cross, or do you just wait until it happens and then you kind of scale back or move in more?
I think it comes down to my intention. I always feel like if I'm just coming from a good place, I know I'm being honest, I know I'm being loving, then that's the barometer for me. Some people are gonna talk and say what they want to say at all times.
Was there a subject matter that, you know, you got some bad comments about? Is there any common thread about some of the things you get backlash about, or is it just any and everything?
Yeah, it's random things, like things you don't even think of.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of videos where I'm like, oh, girls do this, and they're like, girls? You mean women?
I got
I'm
you.
like, ooh.
So they just hop on anything. Simone, have you ever put anything out there? You know, and we're not Chris.
Right.
You know, we're not a celebrity.
Right. It's so interesting.
But have you ever put some stuff out there as a TV personality?
Yeah, you know, I think we have an interesting job, right? Because so much of what we do is being in the middle and being unbiased. But at the same time, like, you got to be authentic. So people like to tell me all the time, why are you so loud when you report the news? It's like, I've been getting told I was loud since kindergarten. That is who I am. I'm not going to change who I am. If you don't like it, I don't think our bosses want us to say this, but change the channel. You know, I don't want you to change the channel. Like,
then you get attacked for selling them to change the channel.
That's what I want to say. I never do say that. I always say thank you so much for your feedback. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you have a blessed day.
That's so safe.
Kindness, right?
Yes, there you go. Love.
Do you respond?
I try not to respond, no. Because I feel like as soon as you respond, you give them what they want. You know what I'm saying? They want to get under your skin. So you're better off just like letting it go and leaving it alone.
Ooh, we could talk about this forever.
I know,
Good talk.
forever.
Okay, we're going to be back after the break. We're going to have more from Chris. But check this out.
If they really cared about you like that, they'd show up and they'd meet your needs. But on the other end, you would express your needs and you would hold good boundaries and say, if you don't meet these, you're gone. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Coming up next, we dive into dating with the help of Confidence by Chris. And we're going to play a little game, Chris. I don't know if you knew that.
Yep.
So please don't leave. And you guys stay tuned at home. It's going to be fun.
Don't change the channel.
Don't change the channel. I love you all.
I'm sorry.
Send the text message. Make the phone call. Ask for what you need. Ask for the relationship. Just do it. Do it today. Do it right now. What are you waiting for? Oh, well, I gotta play it cool. If I ask them to hang out next week, then they're gonna fall in love with me. Wah, wrong. Wrong.
That is no
awesome.
BS advice on dating. So basically, shoot your shot, right? Chris Nappy, podcaster, dating coach, joining Simone and I today. Chris, you said your coaching style is very direct, digestible though. People get it when you say what you have to say. There's no judgment, you say, but what do you mean by that? Because dating can be very, like, you know, you can be very nervous and everything's like, you know, gentle.
Yeah, I think it's gentle in the way that you communicate with people, but when I'm coaching you, that's much different.
Yeah, so
you know
don't
what I'm saying?
play
Stern,
games.
yes, very honest.
What made you start doing this type of podcast?
So when I was a little kid, I don't know what happened, but I didn't really find love very easily for myself.
Okay.
So I think my whole life I was trying to figure it out.
Okay.
I was like, I need love, but I was like, I can't get it.
And you're like, this is a good career for me to like hash it all out and help people and help myself.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm holding a paddle. We're going to talk about this in a minute. But what is the craziest thing that you have done for love? We're going to get to you second. We get to Simone first because I feel like Simone's got stories.
Well, I got a story. I told our producer Amanda. This is back when I was in college. Super insecure, just needed external validation from men. Like I've worked that out in therapy now. We're all good. But I dated a guy, thank you, and he was so emotionally unavailable, but I just wanted it so badly. And one night he said he was going out with his friends, and I knew he was up to no good. So me and my girlfriend got in the car, and we drove to the bar he was at and parked out front, and we waited to see. And sure enough, he came out of the bar with girls.
Another girl, yeah.
What did you do?
I think.
What did I do?
Like, what else?
What any sound woman does, I stayed with him for another year. Nice. Gave him another chance.
What about you, Chris?
Oh, the craziest thing? I don't even think I've done really crazy things.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, they do crazy things for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's come off of that and go into a little game that the producers created. Okay, I have not seen this question, but we got a paddle that says, did that, would never. Here are the questions, rapid, okay? Don't think about it. Double texted someone in the talking stage. Everybody did that.
Yeah.
Dang. Showed up to a place you know your crush would be at.
Oh, yeah, I just told you that.
No way.
Definitely.
Pretended to like someone you hated.
I don't even know what that means.
That's a big no.
No.
I don't. Pretend to like something you hated because of the person.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've done that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay firm on that too.
Like you
yeah,
haven't
we don't
either.
do that.
Simone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I
People
used to
pleaser.
go spearfishing in Florida.
You're like, I love this so much.
I'm like, I'm such an outdoorsy girl. Like,
flew to another state for a situationship, meaning you weren't really established. Did that? Oh my gosh.
I feel like the story of my life.
I think I'm healthy over here.
Yeah,
Last
you're doing
one, created a fake profile to see if somebody's cheating.
Oof.
yeah.
Oh boy.
I have a Finsta. You don't have a Finsta?
Okay,
You don't do that?
We're gonna talk after the show. We all need to talk. Thank you so much for joining me. This was fun. We're going to play after the show. We're going to talk to Simone. You're going to
call my therapist.
We're going to call the therapist back.
Somebody here needs help.
Chris, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You for joining us on this Arizona's Family Original. You can connect with me on Instagram. You're going to find more behind the scenes stuff, what we're going to talk about after the show. Even a sneak peek of future episodes. We'll see you again real soon.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
great.
That was it.
Period.
Now, if
That was
Alex
easy.
comes here, let's make a deal.
Okay.
So you know how to operate this?
No, sure don't.
I'm going to have one of these too one day.
Usually I'm drinking my water because I'll get burpy. If I drink anything other than water, it's just I don't want to be burping as a
So that's a little behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's a little water. Duck talk. All right. Yeah, no barley.
Are you weird?
Yeah. Yes.